right.
My pranams to all the Atma Jyotis, divine light of the sun. Today I am going to chant and contemplate Shloka 2.59, which is Vishaya vinivartante. Let us first chant Om Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam raso apyasya param drstva nivartate. So the word-to-word meaning is Vishaya, objects for senses, vinivartante, restraint, niraharasya, practicing self-restraint, dehinah, for the embodied, rasavarjam, cessation of taste, rasa, taste, api, however, asya, persons, param, the supreme, drstva, on realization, nivartate, ceases to be. So what this shloka means is the one who is realized will be restricted from happiness, because they work hard and they are not attached to anything, like they're fixed in whatever they do. They're determined. For example, Swami Vivekananda, he was very focused. That's why he stunned everybody in Chicago. And Abdul Kalam, he became the 11th president of India. Ramana Maharshi, who was always meditating and had great focus, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Prabhuji, Sri Ramakrishna, everybody were fixed in consciousness, and they were determined. So Sri Rama, his whole life, it was full of challenges. Though he appears in this photo as a king and Sita as queen, they had challenges their whole life. So, but still they were fixed in dharma. So that's what this shloka means. Hari Om.
Wait. Keep it on, so that there can be discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you then, what does the first sentence mean? Why is Krishna saying the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remain? What does that mean?
So you won't be you can't be like you need to choose any one thing. Hard work can get something, or be lazy and you'll get nothing. So what the shloka means is, the realized person, they are hardworking and many things like that. But the taste for sense objects, their desire desire is the same. So they are not too much attached, but they are attached to a certain limit, but not too much.
But that's not what it is saying, no. It is saying that the GV may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for the sense objects remain. What do you think it means? Then it says that but ceasing such engagements, your experience, and by experiencing higher taste, is fixed in consciousness. The examples you gave are of people who have realized. What is that they have realized? How come Sri Rama was able to follow dharma in spite of such difficulties?
Yeah. Could you repeat your question of Sri Rama?
What enabled Sri Rama to be steadfast in the path of dharma though so many challenges came his way, what enabled him?
His determination and his focus. He never gave up.
True. But what gave him that determination?
I think because his knowledge from his gurus, that's what helped him.
But knowledge everybody has, no? Anybody who goes to a guru gets the knowledge. But does everybody become Sri Rama?
No, he applied the teachings of his guru.
Meaning what? What enabled him? See, okay, let me ask the question in a slightly different way. Let's say you have decided to appear for some exam, okay?
Yeah.
And in order to prepare for that exam, you need to prepare, let's say, maybe 5-6 hours every day.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, in your home, there may be something happening. Some guest may have come, or maybe, your friends call you. You may get tempted to participate in all these things, no?
Yeah.
So what enables you to not be tempted, but focus on your studies?
I think the determination in my studies and my intention to not get distracted from anything.
No, but why are you, see, what is your mind may ask a question, what is wrong now, if I just go and spend some time with my friends? Or what's wrong if I spend some time in, say, watching a show? So how will you be able to, because, sitting in front of your study books for 5-6 hours is not an easy task, is it?
Yeah, it is not easy.
Yeah. So, but what gives you that power? What gives you that energy? See, unless otherwise you find some enjoyment, would you do it?
No.
You would rather feel it as a drudgery, no?
Yeah.
Ayo, why am I having to sit and study, when all my other friends are enjoying? So therefore, what gives you that strength? What enables you? Okay, Manya, you can open up your mic and you can answer.
Okay, when we study in such a situation that which you specified, in that situation, why a person would study for 5 to 6 hours would be his goal. He keeps that goal in his mind that once it's only possible if he studies, like if he has to clear either, there must be some reason for him to clear the exam. And why he has chosen that specific exam. So he knows that if he doesn't clear this exam, then the reason for which he has chosen this exam, that reason cannot be fulfilled or that wouldn't happen. So that reason is nothing but the goal or the aim. So that is what motivates the person to study for 5 to 6 hours. That becomes the reason.
Okay, so now let's assume, for the sake of understanding, you've chosen some goal. Say, in your case, Manya, you've chosen CLAT exam as your goal, next goal. So now preparing for CLAT exam, or similarly, maybe let's say IIT exam or any other exam, is not an easy task. It requires you to sit focused 5-6 hours, study, do various kinds of problem solving, be focused on that. All that is necessary, isn't it? Now, just because you have put an aim, I want to study, I want to clear this exam because I want to go somewhere else. See, for example, your aim may be, I want to own a big house. And to own a big house, I need a lot of money. And how do I get money? Only if I go to a good college. And how do I go to a good college? If I clear this exam. Let's assume that is your reasoning. Let's assume for the sake of discussion. So just because you want a big house, right now you have to study for 5-6 hours. Will you be able to enjoy it? Will you be able to do it? Is that sufficient enough reason? for you to do it.
Yeah, like what happens is when you realize that like the examples you gave to go out and play with friends or to watch some shows, when you realize that the happiness or the enjoyment you receive from that particular action is very small when compared to the happiness or the enjoyment that you receive from the bigger goal, and when you realize that this is for a limited time, or you realize that for the period of time you enjoy this is smaller than the period of time you can enjoy that bigger goal, when you realize that, it becomes more easy. Also, I think why it becomes hard is the enjoyment of the goal, the happiness, we are not receiving it as soon as we do the task or while we are doing the task, unlike when we are watching shows or meeting friends. You enjoy it, you receive the enjoyment only after some time, after the completion of the task. So when you realize that, it becomes a little more easy and you feel motivated. Also, the more you study, the more it becomes easier for you to study, and slowly you kind of start enjoying studying.
What is Aditya's view?
Even I feel like what Manya said. So when we realize that happiness doesn't come from like spending time with your friends, but happiness is inert, that's when we realize that
Happiness is inherent.
yeah,
Inherent.
sorry, inherent. That's when we realize.
What is the difference between inert and inherent?
Inert is not like
Non-reactive.
non-reactive, and inherent is
Natural.
naturally.
Hmm.
So when we realize that happiness is inherent, that's when we actually pay attention to goals that are bigger. Like the example you gave was the exams. So that's when we pay attention to the exams, and yeah.
But still, in the logic that you both are presenting, yeah, Manya.
So now if anyone is given this option that if you don't watch the show, then I'll give you the house. Like for the example that you gave, if you don't watch this particular show, then I'll give you this big house. Or if you study this one chapter, then I'll give you this big house immediately. Then anybody would choose that option, not to watch the show and to study. But the only difference is that in both of these situations, you receive the enjoyment later, whereas here you receive it immediately. But then all of this can make you study better, but then it becomes very easy when you realize and when you have that in mind, that through studying I need to gain some knowledge, and when that becomes the aim, it becomes more easy.
Okay. All right. Look at it this way. In the logic that you both are presenting, you are saying that my enjoyment comes later when I achieve that goal. So which means that till then, whatever I do may not be enjoyable. Oh, it's a hard work, but I have to anyway do it. Oh, it's hard work. Sitting for 10 hours, 12 hours a day and studying is very hard. But what to do? I have to do it. So it builds a sense of, I have to do. Whereas, what is Krishna saying in this shloka? Namit has chosen to not share his screen. So can I request Namit?
Yes, sir, I'll share. I had some internet connection.
So pay attention to what Krishna is saying here. Krishna is saying, just because your friend called you and your mother or father, or maybe your own fear that I may fail in the exam, stopped you from saying, no, I will not come. I have to do hard work. I have to study. You don't know the drudgery of studying. So you tell your friend and you keep the phone. So still the thought is there in the mind about my friends are enjoying. What am I doing? Such an enjoyable thing. Instead of going and playing with my friends, I have to sit in front of this book and study. Ayyo. So that is what the first sentence Krishna is saying. Though the embodied soul, who is an embodied soul? One who is living through the body and mind. Though the soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the fear of the exam may stop you. The fear of your mother scolding may stop you. Or your whatever else may stop you from not doing something. But nobody can go inside your mind and remove that I should have been doing that. So the taste for the sense objects remain. It's so enjoyable to go and play with my friends. Or it's so enjoyable to watch this show. It's so enjoyable to taste that food. But I'm being restricted. In such a situation, there is going to be a lot of internal fighting. You're not going to do it out of love. You're going to do it out of fear. I have to pass the exam. Why? If I don't pass the exam, who will give me a good college? If I don't get into a good college, who will give me a good job? If I don't get a good job, who will give me a good house? I will become very poor. All this is a logic of fear. And the logic of fear can work only if you are able to so much invest yourself into that whatever else you want, which means that your current activity becomes such a painful. So that is what Krishna is drawing our attention to in the first sentence. Then he is giving you the solution. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste. This is most important sentence. What is a higher taste? It means, let's look at it in the context of our study itself. And then we will see it in the context of self-realization. In the context of studying, yes, Namit?
Sir, so in the first sentence, is Krishna saying that we are restricted? Whoever are realized, they're restricted from sense enjoyment, but their desire remains, and we need to avoid, but still they need to avoid that. Is that what Krishna is telling?
No, not at all. That's what. Listen to my next explanation. So now, can you all see I'm holding something in my hand? Let me remove the background blur. That way you can clearly see. No, let it be there, Namit. Your explanation be there. But in my video, can you see I'm holding something?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. Now, let's assume, Aditya, can you give me that book? Okay, can you see Aditya is trying to give me that book? Okay, when can I receive that book?
When you either place the mobile in your other hand or you keep it down and empty your hand to receive it.
So I empty my hand, then only I can receive it, isn't it? Otherwise, if I keep on holding on to this, I will never be able to receive this. Correct? So, what Sri Krishna is saying is, by experiencing a higher taste. Okay, now I have to ask the question, why am I holding this mobile? Because I feel the mobile is very important. Why am I holding on to that show or my friends or anything? Because it is so enjoyable. Okay, so now how do I then dedicate my energy towards studying? Only when I realize the enjoyment in the activity. Not because I have to pass the exam, and because I pass the exam, I get a good job. If I start enjoying my, physics problems, When I solve the physics problem, I find it so thrilling. When I solve the chemistry problem, when I realize the connection of the chemistry to my kitchen and to my day-to-day life, I find it so wonderful. Then only I can invest myself into studying. Then the studying doesn't become a burden. That is the higher taste. Then that burden, the feeling of burden goes away. Then I do it as I love to study. Will I pass the exam just because I study? Will I get a good marks just because I study? Maybe, maybe not. But my goal is not of passing or failing in the exam. Of course, that I have kept as an aim. I have to do well in my CLAT, in my IIT, in my whatever else that I've picked up. But will it, just because I studied, will it guarantee success? Not necessarily. But I no more am worried about that. Why? Because the very process of preparing for the exam, each physics problem, they say that Newton discovered gravity when apple fell. Is that, how can somebody, apple keeps falling every day in front of me. Things keep falling in front of me every day. But why don't I question that? How come that questioning hasn't come into me? How come he could question it? So somewhere it became a process of enjoyment for him. Otherwise, why would somebody sit and do all that? So when do you do something? Only when you find a sense of enjoyment, a sense of involvement, and sense of deep satisfaction from that activity itself. Only then can you really be involved in that activity. Not out of fear, not out of greed, not out of, you kept an aim. Aim is important. Why are you studying? Because of the aim. But does the aim itself give you enjoyment? No. If you're focused on the aim and if you're studying, you may actually get stressed. Why? Because what if I fail the exam? Could be the thought process. What if I don't do well in the exam? Could be the thought process. What if I don't get the money? Could be the thought process. So doing it for the carrot, doing it for something else later is not going to give you enjoyment in what you are doing now. Because when you have to study now, here. So for example, all of us are sitting here and contemplating. Why are we contemplating? Why are we discussing Bhagavad Gita? Because Bhagavad Gita can give us answers to our life's situation. So then, is it because of the fear that, if I don't learn Bhagavad Gita, one day I will feel miserable? That, we are coming here and sitting and doing this? No, the very process of exchanging the truth and discussing and helping each other to bring out the best, that itself has become a source of enjoyment. I come here, I look forward for this 9 o'clock session because I can listen to all of you. I can learn so much from all of you. And when you are saying something that is very deep, I feel a sense of awe. So I come here just to have a wonderful time with all of you. So because I find it so enjoyable just to spend time with you, I'm not looking for any particular outcome. Yes, I so much wish that each one of you find the success in your outer life, find the source of enjoyment within you, and find the deep peace within you. All that I also feel and I wish for. But can I guarantee that? No. So when we come here, I simply am so in awe of each one of you, saying what you are saying, listening to you, and when I ask you a question, what you answer, and how I have to ask the next question, the very process itself is a source of enjoyment for me. So likewise, Krishna is saying, in whatever you're doing, if you are only focused on the goal, you'll be miserable. That he has already said. Where did he say that? He said it in the karmanne vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. If you're focused on the phala, you will be a miserable person. So give up your attachment to the phala. But he never said give up action. He said do your action. And here he is showing you how to do your action such that it becomes the most meaningful and enjoyable. When did I give up the mobile? When I realized the value of this. And when I realize the value of this in this moment, when will I put myself completely 100% into my studies? When I see the study itself as a source of enjoyment. Not because one day I may become successful. Look at Swami Vivekananda. Did he make money? No, he did not make money. Look at Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Did he make money? No, he did not make money. But still, they were the most happiest people. Is Prabhuji like a big billionaire? No, he's still the most happiest and the most peaceful. How? This is where Krishna is saying, you realize that you are the source of happiness. You are the source of that peace. So don't do an activity for searching for peace or success or money. Why are you still seeking money? Because that will give you satisfaction. If you keep searching like that, you will always be dissatisfied. So realize your own nature is happiness. Realize your own nature is peace. And out of that peace and happiness, do what you are doing. Why should I study CLAT and why should I become a judge? Because I can serve the country through that activity. That is what I feel that my life's movement can be. Excellent. Why I should become an engineer? Because I can make the life of other people nice and comfortable, help them with my engineering capabilities. Therefore, I am investing my time and energy towards engineering. So do what you're doing so that you can be of service to somebody. But don't do it because I will find happiness out of that. Because happiness is your very nature. That is the higher taste. So the higher taste is, you are the source of happiness. You are the source of peace. So when you realize that, then you are seeking enjoyment from the things in the world naturally stops. Enjoyment is not in the show you are watching. Enjoyment is not in the company of the friends. Enjoyment is not in the laddu that you ate. Question, what made me feel enjoyment? The same show, the same TV show, if let's say you keep on watching for 20 hours together, is it still equally enjoyable? No, after a while you start feeling very disturbed. Why? Because the source of enjoyment is not the show. For the moment when you started watching the show, for the moment when you started eating the laddu, your mind, which was craving, eat laddu, watch the show, go to friends, watch the movie or whatever else, when it was craving, the craving stopped for the moment. And when the craving in the mind stopped, your mind naturally became peaceful. So your very inner nature of bliss and peace expressed as happiness, which you are confusing as, oh, because I did that, I became happy. So an object which cannot give you happiness, you have given the happiness, the power of the happiness to that object. Therefore, you are continuing to be fixed into that object. So Sri Krishna is saying, give up your wrong understanding. Realize you are the source of happiness. And when you realize that, then You're not going to be doing things to seek happiness or peace in the world. You do it now as an offering to the world. So therefore, only when you realize that happiness is your very nature, then only your mind's craving will stop. Till then, the craving in the mind will continue. So therefore, policing will not help you. Because mind, nobody can police. Only you have the capacity to police your mind. Your craving in the mind will continue. So you will, if not this, you will do something else. So therefore, by restricting, nobody will realize the truth. Because the sense enjoyment will still remain in the mind as a seed. Given opportunity, it will sprout. Only when you question the source of happiness, the source of peace, only when you question, why am I doing what I am doing? What is the purpose of this? And when you do it out of love and satisfaction of doing this in this moment. See, just because one of my friend has passed IIT exam, I will also do IIT exam will not help you. Do I want to do this because I love doing this? Because I find a sense of thrill and enjoyment in the physics problem, in the math problem, in just discussing about the various justice scenarios. I feel I'm so deeply happy by seeing various viewpoints when we are discussing Bhagavad Gita. Only then can we be continuously be doing what we are doing. Otherwise, you'll do it out of fear or out of some kind of a restriction. And that will not be out of your self-involvement. Namit, is this clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
Can you now tell me what you understand from this shloka?
Sir, so we whatever we do, we should like I shouldn't do it with I should earlier in the previous shloka, it was told that I shouldn't be attached to the result. So the same way in this shloka, Sri Krishna is telling, don't be attached to the result and do it out of joy, happiness. Whatever you do it with happiness. Don't do it as a burden or with any kinds of restrictions, daily before Newton. So many Newton discovered just some 300 400 years ago, but so many times Apple had fallen, but nobody even in before Christ, there were so many apples falling every single day. But
However,
but what?
Namit, just one factual correction there. I used Newton as an example. But even before Newton's gravity, Gurutvakarshana Shakti is a scientific principle that has already been established in the Indian tradition. So, the Gurutvakarshana, the law of gravitation, was established much more earlier.
Yeah, before it was established before Christ.
Yeah. So therefore, that is as far as the historical correction is concerned. Though we give credit to Newton, that is an incorrect credit. That so be it. We are not debating that. I use that as an example to illustrate the point.
Yeah. Okay. So, for example, like the olden Indian scientists, before they discovered, so many apples had fallen, but are so much related to gravity had happened. They discovered it because they had the interest and out of joy. They wanted to question, and after hundreds of years, even Newton got the same question. He gravity, that everybody had forgotten of what the great Indian scientists had discovered, and so Newton again told it. So because of his interest, so what Krishna basically is telling is we should be interested in whatever we are doing. So there's no use if we do it with burden or with some fear or some pressure. That doesn't help. We should know the purpose of doing. Simply doing something is of no use. Obviously, it won't help anybody. So you need to know how does it help me? How does it help others? What I do. So that is important. So many distractions come in this realized people's way, but it's in their hand. Nobody can, like you told, nobody. The mind can't be policed. So it's in my hand whether to choose the mind how it has to be. So it is in my hand, like whether I should go to the movie or not. But if I want to pass my exam, I should avoid going to the movie. That's all. It's in in my hand, and I also need to choose the right thing. And who does this experiences that higher taste, and he or she is the person who is self-realized or is established in consciousness.
One correction there. By avoiding going to the movie, you will not experience higher taste. So what Krishna is saying is, you will be able to avoid the movie only when you realize the importance of the goal you have chosen. And when you have become so deeply involved in, let's say, preparing for the exam, that the preparation itself is a source of enjoyment for you, then only you will be able to easily avoid. Otherwise, you will still be thinking of the movie, but sitting here in front of the book. Is that clear to Namit? So therefore, what Krishna is saying in the second sentence is extremely important. By experiencing a higher taste means what? Here in this context, what it means? Realize that by doing whatever you're doing, and one day I will become successful and then I will be happy, is a never-ending game. You will never ever reach that point. After 10th, 12th comes. After 12th, engineering or medicine or legal or whatever that comes. After that, something else. After that, something else, something else, something else. So you will continue to postpone. So therefore, Krishna is saying, don't do things for happiness. Don't do things for happiness. Do things, do activity out of happiness. Out of happiness, you prepare for CLAT exam. Why? Because I found a meaning and purpose in being a judge. Out of happiness, I want to be an engineer. Why? I found a purpose. You as well can be an accountant, an excellent accountant. You might as well be an excellent singer. But don't do it because somebody else is doing. Do it out of your own inner sense of, okay, this is what I feel, the thing that I can offer to the world. M.S. Subbulakshmi became famous not by playing cricket. She became famous by singing wonderful songs. And what made her successful, what made her famous, is not because she also sang to the tune, because her sense of involvement is so deep that the moment you see her singing, everybody would feel, this is what that Venkateshwara Suprabhata really means. That devotion. And what made her feel so devoted? Is it because people would clap for her? No. The very singing had become a source of devotion for her. What made Abdul Kalam be a great scientist? Not because He thought one day I will be recognized as a great scientist, because the very act of finding the answers for the little problems that were there became a source of enjoyment for him. So therefore, even if he had to spend 20 hours in front of his work, he did not have a problem. 20 hours became a source of enjoyment. When you are enjoying something, you don't count hours. So Krishna is telling us again and again, do activities, but out of that sense of enjoyment, find what is that gives you that complete sense of involvement. You will never be successful. You will never find happiness in activity of the world. But your very nature allows you to express that activity in the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
What is Manya's clarity now?
Yes, Vijayji, I understood that we shouldn't do anything for happiness, but we should do something because it makes us happy, and that is happiness. Like preparing for CLAT or preparing for IIT makes me happy, and not the fruits that we receive later. But then this is much greater, and also what is even more important is that once someone becomes an engineer, a doctor, or a judge, the impact they make on the lives of others, the social responsibility and the social impact is much greater.
Excellent. But if you keep thinking, okay, one day I have to be a great engineer, then you'll never become a great engineer. It becomes a source of stress for you. Right now, what is that I've chosen? I've chosen to be a judge. I've chosen to be an engineer, doctor, lawyer, musician, painter, whatever. That's only an external expression. How well I do it, only when I've fallen in love with that, can I do it well. And how can I fall in love? Not because somebody else is doing and I also see and I will do. No, that will not help you. You have to feel within yourself, this is what I want to do. This is where I find that I can meaningfully be involved. Because when you are involved, somebody may praise, somebody may insult you. So you will never find only praises coming your way. Not that just because you passed IIT, people will come and clap for you and say that, wow, IIT. Not everybody will come and clap for you. Yes, Aditya, what is your clarity?
So
Speak up louder, please.
So like Namit said, I also understood that you should do something because it makes you happy and not because the fruits of your action will make you happy. So like the example you gave, the IIT example. So don't aim for IIT because you think that will make you that'll give you a big house or that'll make you happy later on in life, but do it because preparing for something like that is a source of happiness for you.
Just see, as a human mind, what all you can accomplish. Just look at how life is. Somebody can dance so well, somebody can jump so well, somebody can sing so well, somebody can paint so well, somebody can cook so well, somebody can talk so well, somebody can write so well. There are 1,000 different expressions of that inner sense of joy. You feel something is nice only when someone has done it with that sense of joy, involvement. See, there are so many movies. Why some movies become a hit? There are so many songs. Why some songs become a hit? There are so many paintings. Why some paintings draw your attention? So many books. Why some books draw your attention? When what is being done with a full sense of involvement, there is a beauty by itself. You look at a flower. Has the flower ever told you that I'm beautiful, so therefore look at me? You hear a bird sing. Has a bird ever come and told you, please praise my song? No, you simply enjoy because the flower has become the best flower it can be. A sunflower never tries to be a rose flower, but the sunflower itself is a source of joy and enjoyment. The cuckoo bird sings cuckoo way. The parrot bird sings the parrot way. But each one does it so wonderfully that you sit and clap for, wow, what a nice flower, what a nice song. You don't sit and compare why the sunflower is not like the rose flower. So the sunflower never set out itself to be a rose flower. It just became the best rose flower it can be, or the sunflower it can be, or the cuckoo bird it can be. Why? Out of its own intrinsic joy of expressing. Only when you choose something meaningful in life, your existence becomes meaningful in life. Otherwise, Ayaram, Khayaram, Gayaram. What does it mean? Ayaram, Khayaram, Gayaram. What does it mean?
He came, he ate, he went.
What does it mean? Yes, you can open your mic and speak. You don't have to raise your hand. This is a discussion.
Yeah, so Ayaram, Kayaram, Gayaram means that he just came and he went, and his coming and going, it didn't make much of a difference. And for whatever was given to him, he didn't make much use of it, which he could have. But then, actually, if I'm not wrong, this is usually used for politicians, where they win the elections, they come to the position, and they eat the money of the people, and whatever was supposed to be given to the people, they take it themselves, they enjoy it, and they just go away. And even Ayaram, Gayaram is also the phrase which is used for politicians who win the elections, and they keep changing the parties for money or something like that. So generally, this means that he came and he ate and he went, but then he didn't make much of a difference, nor did he make much use of the position that was given to him or anything that was given to him. He didn't make good use of it.
But now, on the contrary, look at the pictures that Namit has chosen. Just for a moment, look at each one of them. You know, there is Swami Vivekananda, Dr. APJ Kalam, there is Ramana Maharshi, Sharada Devi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Prabhuji, Sri Rama, Sri Krishna. So tell me, historically, how old is Sri Krishna? Historically, how old is Sri Krishna? Some 5,000 years, right? Historically, how old is Sri Rama? Much more than that. Okay, so the other day I was seeing one talk where, you know, using the astral observations, that is the star observations and various geological excavations, it looks like Ramayana could be at least 30 to 50,000 older. Okay, but anyway, so be it. That is not the point of our discussion. The point is, okay, thousands of years old, right? Sri Krishna, Sri Rama, or Ramakrishna, at least some 200 plus years. Ramana Maharshi, 100 plus years. So now, all these people, you know. Now I'm going to ask a question. So Aditya, what is your grandfather's name from your mother's side? What is that you remember about him?
He was a doctor.
Speak a little louder so that everybody can hear.
He was a doctor, and he was a professor in a college. He enjoyed watching reviews, eating food.
Okay. What is your grandfather's father's name? What do you remember about your grandfather's father?
Nothing.
So, what is that you can learn from this very simple example, Manya?
So we understand that the one for whom we use the frame,
Your voice is not very clear, Manya.
Now, Vijayji.
Yeah.
So we can understand the people who are like for whom we can use the phrase Ayaram, Kayaram, and Gayaram. So they're like usually forgotten by people because they didn't do anything so significant. Basically, they live their life for just for themselves. So such people are usually forgotten, and people who worked for the people and who made significant use of their life and what was given to them, and they made a greater impact on the society. They are not even for they're not forgotten by people, even if many tens of thousands of years pass away after their death.
Excellent. And they did not make an impact out of position of power. What power Ramana Maharshi had? He did not look at him how simple he is.
Just for the love for people. And
Yeah.
also, such people are not only remembered and cherished by their family members or their descendants or lineage, but the entire world remembers and cherishes them. And they are even worshipped.
Exactly. Yes, Namit, what is that you want to share?
Sir, can I leave it? It's 10 then.
Sure, Namit, but I want you to see the clarity in this shloka. Because you please go back and now compare what you were earlier thinking and what is the discussion that has evolved. Once again, please, I want you to contemplate and come back to me if you have any questions.
Okay, sir, sure.
All right, Namit.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Sir, if you want the slide, you can refer to my PDF which you have.
That is okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yes, Manya, is there anything more you would like to add or share from your viewpoint?
No, Vijay, not really.
Okay.
Not anything.
I don't know what you had prepared for today's session. Had you prepared anything for today's session?
Yeah, I had prepared.
Okay, do you want to share it now or do you want to share it when we meet next? What is your preference?
I think I'll share it the next time we meet.
Okay, all right, excellent. So that way even Aditya can come prepared with the 2.59. Okay. All right. Any other question or anything else? In either of your minds?
No, Vijayji, nothing.
All right. Then I will stop the recording.